I want to say thank you for coming to my Monday night question and answer about the Spendthrift Trust. This Spendthrift Trust will save you in three very, very important ways. Number one, will save you federal taxes. Number two, will keep your information completely private. And number three, it will keep you from paying any judgments if you get sued. I can't stop you from being sued, but it'll keep you from being sued. Let me make this big. And let me put into a slideshow. Now, I do break the Spendthrift Trust into two different trusts. One's a business trust for 1099 income earners. The other trust is for investors. I don't care if they're a passive investor, a real estate investor, crypto miner, stock market investor, options trading, forex trading, day trader, or anything else. You're going to save money with this. Again, the breakdown, 1099 income for the business trust and the beneficial trust for investors. Now, with this trust, 97% of trusts in the United States are designed to avoid going to probate. That's all they do. After my parents had a family trust with both my mom and dad on it. Unfortunately, my mom died first. My dad died 2.5 years later. And then now we have split everything up to my two brothers. This is a Spendthrift Trust. It's going to save you on federal taxes, complete privacy, and you'll pay no judgments if sued. I can't stop you from being sued, but you'll pay no judgments. Now, this is in the IRS Tax Code under 643B, like Bravo. It has also been in front of the U.S. Supreme Court twice. Both times the Supreme Court has favored in honor of the Spendthrift Trust, saying it can enter any contract and do anything it wants to do with it that way. Now, the full name, you don't need to memorize this, but I do have to go over these 5 different pillars, which are very important. It's irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor, Spendthrift Trust. Irrevocable, it goes from generation to generation. I found out about this trust because in my real estate group, one of the instructors, Garrett Gunderson, wrote a book called What the Rockefellers Do. He's now changed the title to What Billionaires Do, but I had read the book before I joined my real estate group, and I went back to this. I'll explain it in a few minutes what would happen. And then complex, it means this trust can hold money day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade. Again, with the 97% of the trusts out there, they're irrevocable. They only last as long as the people who wrote the trust are alive and avoid probate. And then all the money must be dispersed. Discretionary, whoever is the trustee or trustees can make the rules to say, what's going to happen to all the beneficiaries. I am the trustee of my family trust. I have 2 brothers, 2 sister-in-laws, and 9 nieces and nephews in the trust. I do not make any interesting rules. Number 4, non-grantor. This makes the trust 100% private. When you start the trust, you are going to have someone sign up for the trust and sign away. You will need their social security number, but that's all they do. I have done this for several of my clients, just signing up for it, signing away. It makes the trust 100% private. I've moved 4 times since I started my trust. The address on my trust is still in Texas. That's where the law firm is. And this is going to keep people knowing what you own, what you sell, what you buy, artwork, anything like that. And then the 5th element is the Spendthrift Trust. To be completely a titanium vault, you need all 5 elements to make this work for you as well as you can. And this trust that has the patent on it does work like this. Now, 1099 income is any income you're making 1099. Real estate agents. I have a life insurance. My life insurance commissions are 1099. Selling weight loss supplies online or in affiliate marketing, brick and mortar stores, anything doing that. With the, I say you can save 70% on your federal taxes. That's a low ball. You can save more than that, but I just want to tell people 70%. So when they save more than that, they'll be very, very happy about it. Again, it depends on your situation, but I can save quite a bit of money for you year after year after year. Just to give you an example, I have a gentleman who sells light fixtures in Chicago. He was making $10,000 a month. And he said to me, I don't work very hard because I only work 3 days a week. Well, Now that he's going to be saving his taxes, he's going to start working even harder because he's going to make even more money. So that's what you can do with the Business Spendthrift Trust. Now, with the beneficial trusts, again, any kind of investor, passive investor, real estate investor, crypto investor, stock market investor, options trading, anything else, these are the taxes you're going to save per year. Short-term capital gains are a year or less. So if you're doing auction houses, if you're doing fix and flips, or if you're doing wholesale houses, there is past legislation. In November 2021, two humongous bills went through Congress. One was for infrastructure, and the other bill had a lot of other things into it. In that one of those bills, there's two lines that say that people who are going to make more than $30,000 a year, their capital gains are going to go up to 40%. So if you wholesale a house for $10,000 and you make more than $30,000 a year, you're going to pay $4,000 to the federal government. Hasn't gone into effect yet, but it has been passed. Between interest income, dividend income, rent rolls, and royalties, that parentheses mean your tax bracket. There are 7 different tax brackets in the federal government, from 10% to 37% for most of them. Royalties a little bit less. I don't know what your tax bracket is, but it could save you so much money. Going back to long-term capital gains, I am purposely working with business brokers because when you sell a business, you're going to pay either 15% or 20% on all selling the business. Now, the IRS, this is interesting. This does come from the IRS tax tip 2003-29. Almost everything you own and use for personal purpose, pleasure, or investment is a capital asset. You can't be much broader than that statement. I just helped a gentleman sell his house he's been in for 30 years to go into long-term care. We found his son's baseball cards up in the attic. Sell those baseball cards, they're going to pay capital gains, long-term capital gains on those. Now, I am a real estate investor. I do crypto and I do a little bit in options trading. A friend of mine does it for me. But if you're a real estate investor, you're going to save capital gains when you sell something. You're going to save interest income if you're doing the BRRRR strategy. I have notes where people pay me the interest, the mortgage to me as interest income. And then you're going to save rent rolls. Now, many people with rent rolls try to zero it out with their depreciation, but with the trust, you're still going to keep your information private, and you're still going to not pay any judgments if you get sued. I can't tell you how many people I know who have had rental income where something has happened, and instead of going after the person renting the house or the apartment, they go after the owner on it. And with this trust, you will not be sued. Now, one thing about this trust, it does do away with the need for a 1031 exchange. Recently, I've been talking to quite a few second-generation children, like in their 40s, where they did not know their parents were doing a 1031 exchange from a property back in the 80s or 90s. A 1031 does have that very specific timeline. You've got 40 days to find a third party to work with the 1031 exchange, and 180 days to find a like property for a like property. And then you have to keep kicking the can down the street. The first year the 1031 is not done, the taxes from that property come back and bite whoever it is. So again, I have talked to about 9 different children, grown children, whose parents, they didn't know if they were doing 1031 exchanges, and all of a sudden they get a tax bill from the federal government. And they're like, that's not my real estate, it's somebody else's. With this trust, it does come from England. Back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England, he got in trouble for chopping off his wives' heads. He went to go tax the lords and ladies. The lords and ladies went back to the Magna Carta. It is contract law. It is on the federal level. And with this, this is a contract. So even if Congress gets their act together and changes the trust laws on March 17th, 2024, and I can't sell this trust anymore, I'll make my money doing real estate and crypto investing, but my trust is already started. They can't go retroactive and break any of the contracts. So this is contract law. Everything you do in your LLC, S corps, and C corps are statutory law. What you do in Arizona is different what you do in North Carolina, which is different what you do in New York and every place else. With this trust, I had 6 LLCs. I closed all the LLCs down. I didn't have to file K1 tax returns on March 15th anymore. I was being charged $300 per K1, so I saved that money. The properties I had in the LLCs, they were all what were they? They all were performing notes or non-performing notes, depending on which one you were looking at. I moved them all into the trust. Very easy to do. I'm saving money on my taxes, and I only file a 1041 tax return, not a 1040, a 1041 tax return. Now, on this, how I found about the trust, again, Garrett Gunderson wrote a book, What the Rockefellers Do. If you would like a copy of that book, just put your email into the chat. I'll send that to you, and I'll send you my slide deck. But my first property was Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I bought it in July of 2020. It was a reverse mortgage, a bank-owned reverse mortgage. The contract said I paid $20,000 outside of my self-directed IRA. It was actual money. And when COVID restrictions got lifted, it was going to go to sale for $50,000. Yay, Sally! I'm going to make $30,000 without lifting a hammer or having to repaint anything or anything like that. Well, middle of COVID, July of 2020, I had to sit on it for 13 months. It finally went to auction on August 28th, 2021. Instead of going for $50,000, it went up to $64,000. Because I did two simple bill of sales, one bill of sale in September 2020, I said, I'm moving Rocky Mount, North Carolina from my LLC to my name, Sally Marie Gibbon. Second bill of sale says September 1st, 2020, I'm moving Rocky Mount, North Carolina from my own name into the trust name. I drove to the bank. They notarized both bill of sales. I went home. I scanned them. I'm living in Phoenix. I sent them to the attorney in Raleigh, North Carolina. Next day, he sends me an email back saying, I need the first page of your trust. Scan that, send it to the attorney in North Carolina. Because of that, I got to save $10,550 on that first real estate deal. The second one you see here is Memphis. It was a note. Literally, I was 17 hours away from, in Tennessee, it's called a forfeiture, not a foreclosure. I was 17 hours away from getting him kicked out of the house. When I bought the note, he paid me for 2 months and then never paid me any other time. The courts shut down. I had to wait until they opened up again in August of 2021. I had to have him sign a land contract, and then I wholesaled the deal for $31,000. So I made a little bit of money there, but saved a little bit of capital gains. Now, I did move to North Carolina in March of 2022. And in North Carolina, I'm doing what's called upset bids. I'm winning upset bids, and I'm wholesaling the houses. The one in Concord was an interesting upset bid. It was an EPA trailer. It had a hole in its roof, 2 holes in the ground, and it was had asbestos in it, but sitting on 2.5 acres of raw land going into Charlotte, from Concord, North Carolina into Charlotte. I won the upset bid. I wholesaled it for $8,500, and the gentleman who got the bid, he was able to put in 4 condos onto that. I've done a lot more real estate. That's only up to until July 31st, 2022. So far, personally, I have saved over $66,000 in capital gains. I'm not crowing. I'm just doing a lot of things. Now, if you're doing crypto investing, I stake, and I also have a crypto bot. So with my staking, I do $1,000 per month at 30% rate of return per year. Not a huge amount, but I save about $572,000 in 2022. My crypto bot has gone up a little bit more. I do Bitcoin versus Ethereum, and whenever it changes, I make a little bit of money on that. I'm now making about $38.72 a day on my crypto bot. So if you're going to sell your crypto, if you're going to move your crypto from an exchange to your wallet, usually that's capital gains, 23.8%. If you follow me on TikTok, I did talk to a father who had planned to sell 4 Bitcoin accounts. He was going to pay for his son's college for $90,000. And when he saw my post, he did not realize he was going to pay over $23,000 in capital gains on that. So the son got student loans, the father got the trust. We had to change it over with his where he was doing it on Coinbase. We changed his accounts to the trust. Then he was able to sell his Bitcoin, save the capital gains, pay off his son's student loans, and then pay for his college. Now, dividend and options trading. And again, with rental income, you're going to take depreciation, you're going to take out your losses, you're going to take any upgrades you made, but any of the profits you're going to make, that's what that's what they're going to be charging you for dividends at from 10% to 37%. Now, forex investors, I have several forex investors, and most of them do not know this. You're getting charged interest income and capital gains. So it's short-term capital gains at 23.8%. And then interest income is going to be taxed between 10% to 37%. So that's why I talk to forex investing conferences, because most of these forex investors are making good money but paying so much in taxes on this. Now, with royalties, mineral rights. I have one of my clients inherit his granddad's horse farm in Oklahoma. On the horse farm, he's got 6 oil wells. He gets to save the mineral rights through the beneficial Spendthrift Trust. Actors, musicians, anybody in the NFT world. Because this trust is patented, when I sell the trust, I get to save taxes. I get to save royalties on selling the trust. Now, this is something that I'm running into because I'm working with senior citizens transitioning from their everyday home into the going into nursing homes. IRMA affects your Part B Medicare. Part B, normally, when you turn 65, you're going to use part of your Social Security to pay for Part B of your Medicare. Part A is hospital stays, Part B is doctors and tests, and Part C is pharmaceuticals. If you make too much money, which is called income-related adjustable amount, the retirement Spendthrift Trust is for you. They're going to count everything. They're going to count your Social Security payments, your pensions, any wages you're making, your 401k withdrawals, interest income, capital gains, dividend income, and rental income. I'm helping seniors transition from this gentleman bought his house 30 years ago for $32,000, and it's worth over $700,000. When you're selling your private house for capital gains, if you're married, you can take $500,000. If you're single, divorced, or widow, it's $250,000. What was going to happen? He was 72 years old. And what will happen is in October or November, the Centers for Medicare Services does look back 2 years to see if you've made more than $91,000 in any of these categories, and that they will make you pay more for IRMA. If you make more than, I want to say, and if I got this wrong, please forgive me, if you make more than $400,000 in a year, you're going to start paying the federal government for Part B of Medicare. So it's kind of an ugly, but we have a way to work around that. I am a real estate investor, and I do believe the 6 inches between your ears is the most important 6 inches. I do believe you should be reading as much as you can. Right now, the statistics says that most adults don't even read 1 book a year, which is really, really pathetically sad. But these are some books that have helped me with getting my mindset correct. Again, this is The Trust Is You. My podcast is Stop Paying Capital Gains Now. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I would love to answer any of your questions now. So any questions that's come up?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is, so I'm a real estate agent and a real estate investor here in New York. And so are you saying that I should get my commissions paid to the trust?
Correct. Real estate agent, you would be using a business trust, correct?
Okay, so as a realtor, you would have the business trust, and then you, as an investor, you would have the spendthrifts.
Correct. So 1099 income's one way, and then if you hold any of the properties, let's say you're doing short-term rentals or you're wholesaling the properties in your own name, that would be the beneficial trust. I do not like this, but I'm going to tell you a secret behind it. In my real estate group, if we sell the education, so let's say, Monica, you buy the Essentials group, it's $2,000. I would get paid $1,000 commission for selling the real estate. Several of my friends in my real estate group have an LLC. They have to change the bylaws for the LLC. Say 90% of the LLC is owned by the beneficial Spendthrift Trust. So if they make $1,000, $900 goes into the Spendthrift Trust. They're only going to have to be responsible for the I gotta figure this out, for the $100, but they're going to still pay state taxes, and they're going to keep themselves open to being sued, because your LLC does not protect you from being sued no matter what happens. So I don't like it. I tell people you need to figure out what's happening there. Whoops, let me see what's going on in chat. Sorry. You can save so much money doing with everything you're doing on this.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that they created an LLC where 99% of the LLC is owned by the Spendthrift Trust. They changed that in the bylaws. And so that allows majority of the income that they're making to be paid to the trust. And I guess they're paying taxes on the remaining 1% of the trust. Correct.
So, let's say you sell a bunch of things. I don't like it because you are being left open to filing state taxes. I've been living in North Carolina for a year now. I did not file 2022 taxes in North Carolina. Everything I do is inside the trust. The registration of my car is with the trust. My insurance is with the trust. So I did not file North Carolina taxes. What some people are doing, because they don't want to have a business trust and a beneficial trust, and no offense, Monica, where do you make more income for yourself? Is it with being a real estate agent or being an investor?
Definitely commissions for sure.
Then I would highly suggest go with the business trust. When you start making enough money in your real estate, you can always purchase the beneficial trust later. Just so y'all know this, so it's out there up front. One trust, I don't care, business trust or the beneficial trust, one trust is $20,500 up front. It's going to be with a cashier's check or with a wire, no credit cards, unfortunately. And then you never have to pay for it again. We do have an entire team working with you to transition things over. And then also you can talk retainer fee to talk to a CPA to get things set up when you file your 1041. If you decide, like let's say Monica goes with the business trust because she's a real estate agent now, and 6 months down the line or 2 years down the line, she says, I need to get the beneficial trust. Both trusts would be $37,000, and the discount, it doesn't matter when you start the second trust, you would still get the discount on that at that time.
Okay, gotcha. And those fees are to set up the trusts.
Correct.
And who is the company is it your company that sets up the trust?
Correct. The law firm is Benson & Benson. It's a private law firm in just outside Houston.
Okay. All right. So 37 to set up both a business trust and a beneficial trust. And the primary value is really the savings on taxes.
Correct. So again, with your real estate commissions, I don't know what your tax rate is, but whatever your tax rate is, I just say, hey, look back. I don't know if you've done your 2022 taxes yet, but look back at 2021 and say, hey, I could times that by 70% and just know you'll be saving more than that. I just don't want to give you a hard number that won't be true, if that makes sense.
So it's it's this flat fee. And do you pay for anything monthly or yearly?
No. Once you pay for the trust, you can add, again, if anyone wants the book, What Rockefellers Do, or What Billionaires Do, the Rockefellers Trust is 7 generations old, and they have almost 400 people in the trust. They're all using the same EIN number, but Joe Schmo has his own bank account. Mary Sue has her own bank account. Maybe a married couple has a joint account and the husband has a different account, but they all have their own LLCs. So you're going to be in charge. No pressure on you, Monica, but if you have children, if you have grandchildren, I'm not married, but I have my nieces and nephews in the trust. I purposely, I just have this because I did a presentation. I purposely give everybody on their birthday and Christmas silver coins so they have something in the trust. When they go to sell, if they go to sell the silver coin, they don't have to pay capital gains or long-term or short-term capital gains with the silver coins when they decide to do that. And again, I now have a grandniece and a grandnephew. I have now added them to the trust, as beneficiaries to the trust. One question I do get when you start adding children and grandchildren, if they marry somebody and then they divorce somebody, you're in control. You can add the person who's married on a certain date. And when they get divorced, you can take that person off the trust. They lose the ability to have the trust at that time. Whoever is the trustee or trustees are in control of who's a beneficiary and what's happening there.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Oh,
And
sure.
what's the name of the book?
It's called, the book is called, oh, I just forgot it. It's called, it used to be called The Trust, but it's called What the Billionaires Do. So let me open up my chat so I can see it. Where's my chat? I got 7 messages in there. I'm gonna put that down. Okay, if you put your email into the chat, I will send you the slide deck and some 2 articles from Forbes, so you can do it. So what you would do, Monica, you would have to talk to your, are you the broker or do you work for a broker?
I work for a broker.
Okay, so if you decide to get this trust, you would set it up and you would put your real estate license into the trust. You would tell your broker, hey, you're not paying Bank of America anymore, you're going to pay this account. And then that's all they have to do on that.
Okay, so I would put my real estate license into the trust and have the brokerage pay the trust.
Correct. And then the trust will also take, let's say your home. The trust will pay for the mortgage if you haven't paid that off. It'll pay for the gas. It'll pay for the electricity. It'll pay for the garbage pickup. You can put your vehicles into the trust. Again, when I didn't have it when I was in Arizona when I started the trust, because when I started the trust, there was no money in the trust. But when I sold my property and came to North Carolina, when I registered my car at the DMV in North Carolina, I took my trust booklet. The trust owns the car. Now, with you, Monica, you're looking at the business trust. You don't have to worry about this. It covers everything. If I only had the Spendthrift Trust, the 3 things the beneficial Spendthrift Trust does not cover are food, fun, and fashion. My car is a 2015 car. What I paid for it back in 2015 was $27,500. I can do a demand letter up to $27,500 against my car to pay for my food, fun, and fashion if I have just the beneficial Spendthrift Trust. We just wholesaled 5 custom homes. The custom homes were $350,000. I can do a demand letter up to $350,000 against those 5 custom homes that are in my trust that aren't going to be sold until June 30th. Things like that. But when you have the business trust, no problem. I was just at Walmart about a month ago getting an oil change, and I was buying food, and I'm checking out in the tire place, and I have a red debit card for the beneficial trust, and I have a blue debit card for the business trust. And the kid behind the counter thought it was hilarious. He thought I was playing the Matrix. I'm like, no, I know what I'm doing.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
A question in chat. The law firm, whoops, I'm trying to read the chat as I'm trying to talk. The law firm's name is Benson. The trust is called the Benson Trust. He was he worked at Harvard. He designed it 7 years ago to make this trust equal. Okay. Oh, let me put my information into chat so you have that. That would help, wouldn't it? So you guys can contact me. Sorry, we were eating dinner really late and I was not very prepared for anything right now. Also, what I'm working with is if you, let's say, Monica, you're going to save a lot of money doing this trust and you want to tell other real estate agents, hey, you should be looking at this if you want to save your 1099 income. I have a referral fee. Whoops, go away. What am I doing? Exit. Get back to my. Let me get back here. I'm going to put this into chat. So you have all that. So you can reach out to me. My whole goal is I'm saving taxes. I used to do Thursday nights mastermind in my real estate group. I was helping a lot of real estate people save money. True story. One of my friends sat in on my meeting 3 different times. On Super Bowl Sunday 2001, he went to the house the 4th time because it was going to auction on March 1st. The gentleman who owned the house unfortunately had passed away. He caught his grown daughter just about to head back to Los Angeles on I-10. She was waiting for the night to come because too hot to drive. She signed the paperwork. They were able to, she was driving a 97 Honda Accord. He was able to get her father's car, her 2000 vehicle, paid off to trade the cards for her. He wholesaled the house, made $50,000. Now, Kelly is a retired preacher from New Hampshire, moved to Arizona. He's like, oh, I got to pay down bills. I'm not going to think about this. I'll do another wholesale deal in 2001. Unfortunately, he didn't. And when he did his taxes for 2001, he owed $13,900 in capital gains. And he set it up with the IRS to do monthly payments of $990. He was Ubering 6 nights a week for an entire year to pay off his capital gains because he knew about the trust and he didn't take it. So he's like, oops, I put that to the wrong people. I need to put that to everybody. But you know, the trust will save you so much money if you want to do that. Any other questions that I could answer for anyone?
What if, oh, I'm sorry.
I just, the law firm, just a second, Monica, is the law firm Benson and Benson, and where are they located?
Houston.
Correct. It's a private law firm. I hate giving you the name of the law firm because when you look them up, they go first with injury parts. But what has happened? Paul Benson and his partner started the law firm with the trust. They passed it to their sons, 2 different sons, and now they passed it to their grandson. So it is a private law firm. This trust has never been audited. If you get a letter from the IRS saying we want to audit it, they will defend you free of charge. You're also going to be, because it's a private law firm, when you become a trust, when you start the trust, you're going to be their private clients. If you need to use them, I do not know what their fees are or anything else. That's going to be a conversation between you and the law firm. But they do have 2 trust attorneys who handle all the trusts at the law firm, even though they go first with personal injury, unfortunately.
Okay. Are they in Utah, or you mentioned where they were and I didn't get that?
I'm sorry?
I said you had mentioned where they were located.
Correct. They're just outside of Houston, a private law firm. And
In Houston?
correct. So
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, sure. What other questions can I answer for y'all? This is
You were about, hi, this is Marlene. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
my other business thing up there. Yeah, you were mentioning something about real estate agents and referral fees. I mean, I'm a serial entrepreneur like you. What were you saying? You got cut off.
Right. I do have a referral fee. Let me put this into chat for y'all. You can sign up for it. And the first question I ask every person who gets on a Zoom with me is how you heard about me. I am not technical. Maybe you guys are more technical than I am, but I work with business brokers, and several of the business brokers have like their website, and then they have an extra site /trust. So when they tell people they go to the website, I know they're coming through.
Oh,
So
got it.
what happens? And I'm sorry, is it Marlene or
Yeah, Marlene.
Marlene. So what happens? I'm going to sell a trust at the end of the month. He's selling a car wash. He's going to get paid for selling his car wash on June 30th.
Right.
Because of 4th of July and everything else, I hope I get paid July 1st. Or July 3rd. I'm not too sure on it, but let's say I don't get paid until July 5th. When I get paid, the business broker can either get his $600 by PayPal, by Cash App, by
Venmo?
Zelle. I
Okay.
haven't done Venmo yet, or if you want to check mail to you, it does take a little bit longer, but I have done that too.
Oh, okay.
I have a CPA down in Florida who sent me 5 different clients. He wants a check. good luck to him. It takes him like a week longer, but yes, I send him
Okay.
the check.
Yeah, or direct deposit, you know?
Correct.
I mean,
No,
that's super easy. So what you're saying is if we send a client to you that wants the trust and set up the trust, then you're paying fees from the trust
correct,
fees?
correct.
Yeah, okay, got it. Because I mean, yeah, and I'll go vice versa if you have something in an area that they need help with disposition of the real estate or whatever. I'm not a business broker, but I am in commercial and residential, multifamily and land and stuff like that. But I have a lot of
Exactly.
contacts. I have a lot of contacts, and I have a partner that we could pull together some really interesting things. So I'd love to chat with you. Maybe I have to jump off and go to another webinar. So maybe I could get into your calendar, whatever. Just email me, would you?
I will. Have you put your email in the chat?
I did. It's 411wealthpartners@gmail.com.
Excellent. I will send out the information to you. I would love to work with you. They're going to think you're a complete hero, helping them save so much money
Oh,
and
God.
have second stream
It's
of income.
horrible right now. This is to me, this is the only answer. It's getting so draconian. We're just getting squeezed every
Exactly.
which way. And no, I think everybody's just getting more bold. They're not going to sit around and wait. We're not going to take it anymore. So that's the way I look at it.
Just to let you know, we do ask for 2 weeks to get things all worked out. I have done a trust in under 24 hours. I was the ugly child at the law firm trying to get that done, but we were able to do that. I hear
you. I want to get them to prepare before they start jumping and running. I hate people that just get into a 1031 or they sell a business and they don't even know what they're doing. Hopefully we can educate them beforehand before it gets too crazy. So I like the pipeline. Absolutely.
Go to your other meeting. We'll talk. You can set up on my calendar. I'll make sure you get all that information.
Okay.
But thank you for coming tonight.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. What other questions do you all have for me? Oops, I'm still recording. Sorry, I was going to shut that off.